Hi everybody, it is Alex Wiseman here talking to you. I am the professor for this fun course, and we're going to be going over the syllabus for CIE 407, Grant Writing and Fundraising in International Education Development. It's being offered this semester at Lehigh University's College of Education, and specifically through the Comparative and International Education program. So welcome. Great to have you on board. I'm going to record a couple of 15-minute videos just sort of walking through the syllabus. And we'll also probably cover some of this the first day in class, but this is a way for us to at least get started. All of you who are in the course should have received an email from me already. If you haven't already received that email, you can always go to our class website, which looks like this. It's CIE407.wordpress.com. And you will see that in the announcements section, there's always going to be, well, there will be announcements, but there will also always be a copy of the latest email that I've sent. So, for example, on January 13th, I sent this email to David. In case you missed it, here it is again. And so it's the whole email right there. How exciting is that? All right. So back to the syllabus. Let's go through this. There is some sort of logistics and scheduling information that's right here at the top. For one is, yes, it is going to be held Thursdays from 12:10 to 3 p.m. That is Eastern Time, and I should probably note that. So I'll just make that the case right there. For those of you who are on campus, the room is still to be determined. I don't have information on that yet, but as soon as I do, I will certainly let you know. My name is Alex. Please feel free to call me Alex. If you're really formal, you can call me Dr. Wiseman, but let's go with Alex. My email address is aww207@lehigh.edu. I respond to email. Really don't ever respond, well, just because I don't get phone messages very much. So I encourage you, if you need to contact me, to do it through my Lehigh email address. It's the fastest, it's the easiest, it's also lots of fun to do it that way, right? Excuse me. My office, if you're on campus, is in Iacocca Hall. Excuse me, room A306. It's the third floor in the A wing. You'll know it's my office because my name is on the door. If you would like to come by my office during my office hours, or if you're at a distance and you'd like to schedule a Skype or some other way that we could meet during my office hours, I do have regular office hours. They will be switching on odd excuse me, and even weeks. And you'll see that the weeks are numbered in the syllabus down below. On odd weeks, that'd be week 1, 3, 5, 7, you get the picture. It'll be Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so basically all morning. And then on even weeks, it will be 2 hours in the afternoons, 3 to 5 p.m. I'm also available to meet by appointment. If you've had me before, you'll know that you can go to, I think this is right. How do we do that? There we go. You can go to calendly.com/wiseman-alex, and you can schedule a meeting with me. So if you wanted to schedule, let's say, a 30-minute meeting with me, you just press on that and it will give you what my schedule looks like, and you'll see that there are a couple of days that are already taken up for hour-long starts. There are 10 start times on Tuesday, 10 on Wednesday in the morning, 2 in the afternoon on Tuesday, and 7 in the afternoon on Wednesday coming up. And you can go through here for every week and see my calendar like that. So you shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble finding a time to meet with me, although you'll see that Tuesdays and Wednesdays seem to be the only days that I'm not already scheduled. So if you would like to meet with me, please feel free to stop by during my office hours. That's probably the easiest way. If you're at a distance, just let me know, and I'll make sure that I'm online on Skype during my office hours if you want to meet that way. Or you can schedule an actual time with me using this calendly.com/wiseman-alex. I'd like to emphasize that this is a live document, the syllabus, so I will probably be making some adjustments and corrections throughout the semester. These will be of various flavors. Some will probably just be small adjustments. Maybe I've typed a page number wrong or something like that. Some of them might be a little bigger, but the major assignments won't change. The major readings won't change. Everything really is basically the way it's going to be. But just in case, the live version is always the one that's linked online. It's always the one that's linked through this link right here, which is what we're looking at. I just made it a tiny URL. It's always the most correct version. If you have any questions about the syllabus, go to this version. If you print out a copy of the syllabus, it's going to be static. It's old already. So you can do that, but just make sure that you are looking at the live version from time to time. All right, so what are we doing in this course? That's probably a good question to ask. Well, the primary goal for the course is to develop skills for grant writing and fundraising in international development and education. Shocking, given that that's the title of the class, but that really is our goal. It is a very intense seminar. It's meant to teach you the grant writing process and provide you with actual experience in writing real, submitted to funding agency grants. All right, so we're really going to be developing some grant proposals as part of what you're doing in your teams throughout the semester. And we really will be working with Professor Sotie Ng and the Caring for Cambodia Lehigh Partnership in order to develop some proposals that would support those activities. All right, and so we'll have a chance to work on some very hands-on grant writing projects. The ability to write grants is highly marketable, and I wanted to point that out right here. Highly marketable, especially in our field of comparative and international education, and certainly in the field of international development and education, because there are a lot of NGOs and other organizations that are always seeking external funding. And so having grant writing experience makes you very valuable to those kinds of organizations as well. You will learn the basics of grant writing, including needs assessment, identifying potential funding sources, creating goals, and identifying assessment plans, plus a whole bunch of other fun stuff. You will address the needs of individuals, NGOs, and other organizations either directly or connected to the field of comparative and international ed. And I'd like to say that we really designed this course for individuals who are either working in national and international NGOs and educational systems or who aspire to work in those systems. So the experience that you'll have working on your grant proposal writing teams will be very similar to the kinds of experiences that you would have working on a team in one of these kinds of organizations. So you will be creating a grant proposal related to the primary mission of the agency of choice. That would be the grant making agency, the funder. You will articulate a fundraising strategy. You will develop a plan to raise capital on the basis of proposals that are developed in class. And when you complete this course, you will know how to write a grant proposal, and you will actually be able to list grant writing experience on your CV or resume, which I think is a really important thing to be able to do, especially kind of cool just coming out of a class and being able to do that. So there are a couple of key objectives then. We want you to be able to define a problem and recognize a fundable opportunity specifically for the Caring for Cambodia Lehigh Partnership activities. We'd like for you to be able to map a viable plan for both solving the problem and for getting funding to do it. So you have to identify an issue or a problem or an initiative or something that needs to be solved or addressed. And you have to have a plan for how you're going to do that and be funded in order to do that. You're going to be asked to weigh funding options and think about how you can create funding relationships, which is very important, having a relationship with the grant-making agency and its representatives, as well as partner organizations or others that are involved in the actual implementation of whatever plan you have is going to be super important for us. And you're going to have to know how to communicate information and leverage collaboration, both as a part of a grant proposal and of the proposed funded activity. So those are all very important things that you should be doing. Those are key objectives of our course. All right, what will instruction be like? So I have this little bit that I put in. I think it's the same in most of my syllabi, I have to say, because this is generally the way that I run my classes. Though there's often a short introduction to the readings and the course content every week, but really it's a participatory seminar. It's going to be that way very much in this class as well. I will orient you towards the beginning of every course, but it is a very much hands-on type of class. For some of you that I've talked to already who've had me in other classes, let me just say right off the bat, this class really doesn't have any theory to it. It is all about practical application. It's how do you do this? How do you think about it? How do you then implement it? So we're going to spend a lot of time on really very sort of technical grant writing issues. I'll give you some general background, some general context, but then we'll also be talking about what each of your teams are doing. We'll be critiquing each other in class. It'll be very hands-on and very interactive. A couple things that I want to say that are important policies for us. One is that everything that you do in this class needs to be your own work. That means no plagiarism. It's silly that I even have to talk about that, but I do. And so if you're going to use anybody else's ideas, etc., you have to cite them. No matter what, you have to cite them. If you have a disability or you need any sort of accommodations for class, all you have to do is contact me and the Office of Academic Support Services as early as possible, and we will make accommodations for you in class. Whatever you need, as long as it's documented with Academic Support Services, we'll make sure that it happens. The last policy thing that I want to mention is very important to us, and it's this principles of our equitable community. Lehigh definitely endorses the principles of our equitable community, which you can find at the website linked here, and we expect each member of this class to acknowledge and practice those principles. The important thing to remember is that respecting each other and respecting differing viewpoints is a vital component of the learning environment, both inside and outside of the classrooms, and that counts for our class and our program, I think, in particular because of our diverse character. There are going to be several readings that you'll do every week. The lion's share of those readings will come out of Carson Fox's book, The Only Grant Writing Book You'll Ever Need. Top grant writers and grant givers share their secrets. I have the 2009 version listed here. There's a more recent version here, which I believe the bookstore will have, or you can get through an online bookseller. Just make sure you have Carson Fox's The Only Grant Writing Book You'll Ever Need, and if you can, get the last or almost the last edition of it, the most recent one. All right. There will be other readings that will be your responsibility to find, copy, download, whatever you need to do in advance of class so that you can do the reading and be prepared for class discussion. Let me emphasize this very heavily. I do not want you to wait to find the readings. Get them as soon as possible and get them for the whole semester. That's going to be very important for you. Okay. Course grading and assignments. This is where I think I'm going to end our first screencast for the grant writing and fundraising syllabus, CIE 407. We're going to move in the next screencast onto course grading assignments. This is really important because almost every week you will have an assignment that, again, at the end of the semester, they all fit together in order to make one whole grant proposal. This is a very typical strategy of mine in class. So again, if you've had me before, this is the way it often works. I have you do things sort of one by one throughout the semester, and at the end you put them all together, and voila, you have a product that you can then use. So we'll be going over those in more detail in the next screencast. See you soon.